Welcome back to this next video on fund development. I'm David Schreier. In our last video, we looked at how to write a case statement and how to talk about the impact that your ministry makes in the community. In this video, we'll look at writing a fund development plan so that you can lay out the strategies and goals to help you carry out all of your fund development activities and how to use that plan to bring board leadership into the thinking process. You can download the resources for this video by clicking on the link that was sent to you by Felician Services. Most of you have some experience working with plans already. Maybe you've planned a family vacation or you've worked on your ministry's strategic plan. A fund development plan works with the same basic principles and logic. It can help you maintain precision on the details and also let you keep the big picture in mind. Because remember, many of your fund development activities will be overlapping or even happening simultaneously. So it's important to have a fund development plan in place to help you keep track of all the balls in the air that you're juggling. Having a good plan can enable you to prioritize what you need to be focusing on first. So let's use an example. Let's say you were shipwrecked on a desert island. Well, an important priority would be finding shelter. And so you would create a series of goals to help you accomplish that priority. You'd look for an elevated location. You'd want to create some safety around you. You'd need to make bedding. And after we've established goals, we would create strategies and tactics to help us achieve those goals. We would send people out on the desert island to look for safe locations. We'd arrange with them to signal when they found a place where we could live, etc. A plan like that can help us be efficient and effective when we think about what we need to accomplish. So now let's use a real-life example of a common fund development activity, an annual fund. Most ministries have an annual fund in place. So let's say Marcy, our cartoon character from a couple of videos ago, has 3 goals for her annual fund. The first is to increase her revenue by $50,000. The second is to increase the number of first-time donors to her organization. And her third goal is to strengthen communication to all of her donors. Well, let's look at the first goal, increasing revenue by $50,000. Marcy would have a couple of strategies to help support her in that. First, she realizes she needs to get her board to increase their giving by 15%, and then she realizes she needs to increase annual gifts to her ministry from $25 a person to $50 a person. And to help her stay on track, she'll have a series of benchmarks to help her measure success. She'll be looking at the actual dollars raised, what percentage increases they are over the prior year, and average gift size. And she'll also need to spell out very specifically what tactics she'll employ to carry out her strategies. She knows, for example, she'll need to recruit a couple of board co-chairs, organize a kickoff event, create a customized appeal letter, and create a process to send follow-up letters. Let's go back to her second goal, increasing the number of first-time donors to her organization. Well, her strategies to support that goal include needing to purchase an outside list of names and needing to organize an alumni calling campaign to reach new donors. And she'll also have some benchmarks for this goal as well. She'll be looking at the number of new donors compared to last year, what percentage her acquisition rate is, and how much time she spends researching new prospects. And she'll have specific tactics to help her meet her strategies. In this case, she'll need to look for outside brokerage firms, and she'll need to choose the most effective list to help her reach new donors. And again, she'll also need to recruit volunteers and prepare scripts and order food for kickoff meetings that she'll have. And finally, for Marcy's third goal, strengthening communication to all donors, her strategies involve organizing a volunteer-led thankathon and thinking about how to improve stewardship activity. And you can see that she has a series of benchmarks to help her track those strategies as well, and also specific tactics to help her meet her strategies. As you at your ministry develop goals, strategies, benchmarks, and tactics, please keep in mind that it's important to to also assign responsibility so that we have specific people working on specific actions, and it's important to create a timeline so that we can keep ourselves on track, and to think about whether there are financial resources needed for particular activities like purchasing lists or buying food. And finally, it's important to review the status of all of our activities to make sure we're completing things or planning things or following through on activities already pending. Here are 3 more points that I'd like you to keep in mind relative to your fund development plan. First, involve your board members. Board members will be involved in fund development activities over the course of the year, so why not involve them in the planning process as well? At least give them a chance to react to and comment on the fund development plan that you put in place. But it's important to get a sense of co-ownership and buy-in from all ministry leaders. So if you can bring board members into the planning process in the beginning, then you'll all have a sense of we're all in this together over the course of the year. Second, be sure to link your fund development plan to your ministry's strategic plan. So first, the institutional goals for the ministry are established, and then based on those, fund development goals are established. This will help ensure that you're raising the right kinds of money for the right kinds of projects. And finally, prepare adequately ahead of time. All of your fund development activities will be multiple and overlapping and require a lot of coordination and work very interdependently. So rather than trying to figure out how to juggle all of these things while you're in the middle of them, think ahead of time about all the activities you want to do and their timing and the people and resources needed, so you have this basic plan and framework established up front. Thank you so much. See you soon. Don't miss the last First Thursday live Q&A on Thursday, May 5th at 10 a.m. Central Time. In that Q&A, we'll talk about the importance of using a case statement to convey your ministry's impact and benefit to the community, and we'll talk about how to use a fund development plan to align your fund development programs with your ministry's strategic plan. We look forward to seeing you then.